Hey everyone, Catch 'em All Collectibles here. In today's video, we are going to talk about avoiding burnout in Pokemon. I think it's something that happens a lot more during booms. Not surprisingly, but I'm just going to talk about my thoughts. I've been asked it before on Pokeflips, on live streams. I've probably answered this question 10 times, but I've never done a video focused around it. So I'm going to tackle it in this video. So thinking about how to cover it, I feel like I could just go on and on for an hour. I'm going to do my best to keep it shorter than that. But I keep coming back to, like, what is your why? What are you doing in Pokemon that is leading you to burnout? And there's some aspects of this that I've kind of felt myself in. And when I started feeling it, I removed myself from that. I recognized it. I'll say the whole Robot Dan meme, I think that kind of like fits. I've never really, 11 years in Pokemon, going on 4 years full time. I can't say that I've ever felt like really burned. I've heard a lot of people, I'm super burnt out. I need to just take a week off, take a month off. I mean, I know people that were really deep in Pokemon that ended up taking a year off, years off. And it's all fine. It's like, know what you're putting in, what you're getting out, pay attention, listen to your body, listen to yourself in what it needs. And if Pokemon isn't a net positive to you, it's very reasonable to step away. So what is your why? Me personally, it's not just money. I think the major source of burnout during a boom is that, hey, there's this massive wave here and I'm trying to catch and ride this wave. And if you had asked me, well, back in 2020, I didn't think that was going to last that long. And when I quit my job in 2021, I didn't think that was going to last that long. And in some ways, the boom kind of busted, but other parts of it are hotter than ever. A lot of what's going on today is hotter than it's ever been. So if you've just been balls to the wall since 2020, thinking like, hey, it's going to end, I think it will eventually. I think the market will cool a lot. But trying to just grind out every penny that you can, every dollar that you can during this boom, presuming that it's going to end tomorrow, next week. I mean, it's good. It's good to strike while the iron is hot. It's good to try and achieve your goals while they're more able to be achieved. But like, you do need to retain sanity. You do need to retain your relationships with other people that may not be inside of Pokemon, that may be outside of that, loved ones, family, and all that. So yeah, I think getting a really good grasp on what is your why. And me personally, I'll cover what mine is really quick. I'm doing this full time, but most businesses, all businesses, their foundational why is like to make money, but that's not the only thing. I definitely am trying to maximize profits here at Catch 'em All Collectibles, but I'm also trying to optimize my happiness as well. I am trying to see family as much as possible. I'm trying to maximize the time spent with them, those relationships, things of that nature. And I'm also really trying to minimize certain tasks that I don't like. And that's another avenue that I could go down in this current market that we're in. So it's 2025 right now. I got back in 2014. In 2014, rest in peace, Troll and Toad Evo. It's no longer a thing today either, but it wasn't a thing in 2014. Z&G Emporium consignments on eBay, my consignments on Fanatics. A lot of these services, Probestein was probably a thing, maybe DC Sports. I don't remember exactly how old all those are, but consigning and the ability to offload, outsource a lot of the tasks that you may not like. I don't like scanning slabs. I don't like creating listings necessarily. I don't mind them in batches of 5, 10, 20. But I've had my years where I've done 10 listings a day, every day all year. But overall, I like sourcing the most. And so my why is like, I want to make money in Pokemon. I want to be a positive force on the hobby overall. And I want to enable other people around me to rise up as well. And I think I'm perfectly doing that right now with the Fanatics live streaming. Sky just did some Metazoo, PK Ponga doing Pokemon every day of the week. I like to think that we're doing things very openly, honestly, very in a very positive way. And yeah, I feel good about that. I'm working with friends, business to business, not dealing with a lot of the things that I've done in the past decade, a lot of the business to consumer, and I'm definitely not making as much money if I were behind the camera myself. But it's something that I'm doing to avoid that burnout. If I were streaming, like with what I'm paying my streamers, I could make a lot more money if I just worked 50 hours a week in the office side of it, sourcing all that stuff, and then fired up the camera for an extra 20, 25 hours a week. I could make a bunch of money, but I would burn out. I wouldn't enjoy that. It's not it would make me a lot of money, but that is not my sole goal. And there's certain considerations that that I'll just not sell out on. Like I just won't make myself do things that I entirely hate to make a bunch more money. So I think during a boom it's a lot harder because it's a lot more tantalizing. But let me cover this week. This week I am actually going to be doing my live stream. I usually do them on like Wednesday or Thursday. I'm going to be doing it on Monday night this week because I can't do it on Tuesday night, because from Tuesday to Friday, middle of a week, middle of the boom, I'm going on a trip with my family and we're going to go to a water park. We're going to go to a water park in the middle of a boom, middle of a week, to just decompress, turn off Pokemon a little bit. I'm sure we're going to be playing a little bit of Pokemon Go. We might be talking a little Pokemon with my son. We might be talking, we're going down a water slide, talking about which Pokemon would like the water slide the most and whatever comes up. I'm sure there'll be Pokemon involved in it, but it won't be so in depth. I won't be right now as I'm recording this video. Discord is here on my third monitor, and I've got TCG Player over here, and I've got my website here, and I've got like I am engrossed in Pokemon because I love it, because I do it for business. A lot of my hobbies involve Pokemon, but it's still good and it's healthy to turn off from time to time. And it's, I mean, if I wanted to do the numbers, there's two ways I could do the number on what this trip is going to cost me, right? There's the direct money that it costs. I could look at my credit card statement. I could look at what the water park tickets, what the hotel, what all that costs. More than that cost is me not being on TCG Player, me not being on eBay, me not being, I will do emails a little bit. Wednesday is encompassed by my trip, but one thing that's great is I can schedule ACHs on Monday to go out Wednesday for my consignor payouts. And I'm building my business in a way that works for me, works for my schedule, works for my desire to travel a bunch more on my own clock, on my own calendar. And I still do have the weeklies. I still do have like the certain things I have to take care of. I have to keep the streamers fed. I have to keep a lot of inventory flowing to them. But I fill them up. They've got months worth of streaming stuff. They've got plenty to do without me sending them anything new for a month. So yeah, that's like my why. That's some of the considerations around what I'm doing to prevent burning out. Let me also bring up my website because I'll talk a little bit further on that. So every week for the past few months, I've had this buy list on my website. If you want to sell packs to me, not this week, hold on, I'll cover it. But every week, every Monday, I've updated my buy list. And this Monday, I'm going to do like a, I don't know what I'm going to put here. I'll probably do something in Canva that just says like, gone fishing. I'm taking the foot off the gas in the middle of a boom to go have time with my family. I will still buy your packs. Send me an email. Might take me a couple days to get to it. I will still lock in rates. I will still accept new sales to me in that time, but I'm not going to be like right up on top of it as fast as I normally am. I'm going to just kick the can down the road. 1 week, it's going to be kind of like no hot buy list. I'm going to put flat 70% across the board. Flat 70% across the board will be my buy prices. And if stuff comes in, great. If nothing comes in, I'll be fine, and I'll crank up the buy list for the next week. But yeah, another thing that I wanted to talk about too is like Pokemon is my business. Pokemon is my job. Pokemon is a lot of my hobbies, passions, things like that. One thing that I found, and maybe other people have found themselves in these things too, like FOMO. FOMO is definitely a real thing. And I talked about TCG Pocket before. TCG Pocket came out and I installed it on my phone. And every day, it's like, man, they give you free packs every day. You got to go in and you got to open them. If you have certain things that you're doing out of need and they just feel like a chore. I described it as Pokemon TCG Pocket came out. Within a few days, I described it as a chore that I was doing every day, and it genuinely felt like it. Occasionally, I'd get the dopamine, I'd get the full art card, it would feel good, and I'd just be going through the motions though. Every day, I'd go in and I'd open my digital packs. Finally, I hit the Charizard. Finally, I hit the Charizard that you could go into the art, and it's like, I looked at it once, and I went into the art, and I was recently over at an old college friend's house, and he plays it too, and I showed him my Charizard, and we went into my Charizard, and he showed me his Pikachu, and he went into his Pikachu, and I showed him my Mewtwo. So I've gotten a little bit of positive engagement out of that since, but I stopped going on every day because it's like there's always going to be more to chase. There's always going to be more. Is there ever going to be enough? Will I ever be satisfied? Pokemon Go, I still do play that with my family. I remember when Mega Tyranitar was out. It's like, hey guys, we gotta go, and we were going, and not to the extent of Burnout. I'm not one who goes and gets like a 4-star shiny of every major raid boss, but we'd go out and we'd go get a Frosty. We'd go, not really getting ice cream because it was the ice cream place wasn't open because it was over the winter. But we'd go, and it was like kind of feeling like I was missing out, not getting a Tyranitar every day, a Mega Tyranitar every day, because they're so good for the other raids. Well, you need the Mega Tyranitar so that you can Mega Evolve a Tyranitar and like be stronger against all the other psychic raids, so that you can get more raid bosses, so that you can be stronger to get more raid bosses. It's all just pixels. It's all, even if you're talking about cards, it's like at some point, just check in on yourself, do kind of a sanity check, do a mental health well-being check, and make sure you're actually getting positive things out of it. Make sure you're not just stuck going through the motions. And maybe it's TCG Pocket, maybe it's Pokemon Go, maybe it's checking on different Discords. Maybe you're hate watching your least favorite PokeTubers. Maybe you are watching the latest Poke Drama Tube podcast that's on because you need to keep up with the news. It's a 24/7, 365 cycle. It never turns off. I mean, I'm in only a handful of the smaller Discords. Some of the bigger Discords of the bigger creators, you can go in at 4 a.m. Eastern time. Well, that's late morning in Europe, and there's 1,000 Europeans in that Discord, and it's just rolling, and then Australians and Japanese, and it's like the things just never stop. It's like you're walking into Grand Central Station, and there's just always something going on. It's like you're walking into O'Hare, and there's just always a flight going out, always things coming in, and I understand how people burn out, but this is me talking through some of the things that I do to help avoid it. The biggest things definitely being really changing the aspects of how I do business. And to some people, this is a side hustle, right? This is a side hustle, and sure, money's great. Money doesn't directly buy happiness. If you say like, well, Dan, I only make $50 an hour at my normal job, or whether it's 50 or 15 or whatever it is, I can make $100 an hour for a few hours a week doing Pokemon. Well, is it actually worth it? Is it, as crazy as it sounds, I'm choosing not only to not make hundreds of dollars an hour, maybe not every hour that I'm at the water park, but like some amount of those hours, I'm going to miss a big collection buy. I'm going to miss a big pack buy. Whatever it's going to be, it's going to cost me thousands to go, and it's going to miss me thousands of dollars in potential revenue. But it's going to be worth it. It's going to be memories with my kids, memories with my family. It's going to be unwinding, de-stressing, all that good stuff. So one other thing that I wanted to cover too, I have a lot of bullet points here, but I think the boom will come. I think the boom will end at some point. I don't think Pokemon's going to end. One thing I wanted to say is, like, if you leave in a week or a month or a year, sure, you might miss out on like, oh man, that card that I held, when I left, we were in a boom, and this card, I could have sold it for this, could have sold it for that. Well, if you're holding on to things that you only see dollar signs for, maybe evaluate whether you want to actually, like me personally, I ended up selling a lot of my former PC back in December and prior. I mean, I sold a lot of it back in 2020, 2021 as well, because it just got to the point where I enjoyed it, and former collector boy Dan really enjoyed putting that together, enjoyed the journey. And it was like, I want every chase card in PSA 9, and that will be enough. And then I got it, and I'm like, I started going for Japanese trophy cards, and I started going for all different kinds of things, English trophy cards. And at some point, it's like, I have enough. I have enough. Say that. I promise you I will still be buying more Sitting Cuties as they come out. I promise you, like, I'll still be buying things, but not everything. Like, gotta catch them all. You don't actually have to. You catch them all collectibles. You don't actually have to. I promise. And I made a video before too. I'm gonna link that one above. I made it a couple years ago. How much is enough? I talked specifically about keeping up with the Joneses, social media, the hedonic treadmill, hedonic adaptation, all that stuff. I think that was a great video. A couple years ago, I made it a little over 1,000 views. One of my more favorite videos that I made, talking through that side of it more versus enough. And but yeah, that's I'm seeing that I'm really nearing my enough. Not my enough, like entirely put off the gas, retire, quit this job, but slow down, smell the roses, and go to the water park, go to the zoo, travel a little bit more. In some of the travel, Cleveland Collecticon is going to be a thing. Why not? Why not stop on the way or on the way back? I'm going to be driving by Niagara Falls. I've been there several times in my life, but why not? My kids haven't been there yet. Well, why not stop and smell the roses on the way to or from Cleveland Collecticon and smell the roses? Smell the beautiful roses that will be blooming at Niagara Falls. So yeah, those are some of the things that I'm doing to avoid burnout. And sometimes it's like RuneScape. I'm always talking about RuneScape. I feel like so many analogies in the game, leveling up in the game, and things that can make an analogy to life or to Pokemon business. And there are sometimes Friday and Saturday nights where my wife is working on her coursework or whatever, her like whatever they call it, curriculum type work, and she's grading papers or whatever. So I'll a lot of times I'll pre-grade cards, or I'll more and more. I've not been doing that as much lately. I've got the consignments, I've got the packs that I'm buying and the things that I'm buying for the live streams. I've not bought on TCG Player in quite a while. I've not bought on eBay in quite a while, aside from some like buying loose pack plays and buying sealed collection, sealed tins, sealed ETBs, whatever, to break down for packs for the streams. But yeah, I think that is, yeah. What one last thing? I actually watched Pokemon Classics video about 30 minutes ago before I started recording this. He made a great video. Let me make sure that I read the title. What did he call the video? Oh, it's coming up with TCG Classic. So yeah, the hidden trap of Pokemon collecting, talking about market psychology. Go watch the video if you haven't already. It was a really great video. But I'm so often talking about SMART goals. I actually don't have it on this screen. I have to go to this screen, but here it is. Setting SMART goals. If you watch my how much is enough video that I posted earlier, it will talk a lot about SMART goals. But it's very important to not set goals that are entirely outcome based and setting journey based ones instead. So speaking, actually, here's a great segue into a very timely goal that I had set. I set a goal, which I still hold, to dunk a basketball at Rusty's. And I'm not sure if I'll be able to do it. When I set that goal early last year, early 2024, or maybe about this time 2024, I set that goal. I was 255 pounds. I got down to 225 pounds. I dropped 30 pounds since I made that goal. That was part of the process. The end goal was something like tangible, something that I could see, kind of a vanity metric of being able to dunk a basketball again like I could in college. But really, what I was trying to, like, the process, losing weight, getting more healthy, hopefully being around for add another couple of years, add another decade to my life with my kids, with my family, hopefully meet my grandkids someday, hopefully meet my great grandkids someday. Who knows? My kids are fortunate enough to have multiple great grandparents alive still. So yeah, I've gotten off the path though. I've been in some ways I've been hitting Pokemon a little bit too hard, and I've been enriching my financial wealth in the boom, and I've been enriching my familial relationship wealth by going to the water park, doing the things, doing the zoo, going to meals and stuff, traveling more. But I've not been keeping an eye on my health wealth enough. And that's one. Talk to Warren Buffett. He'd trade all his wealth for our age, my age, our level of lack of wealth comparative to him. Time. So yeah, I really need to keep a better eye on my health wealth, and I need to get back on track. I'm recording this on Easter. I may or may not have had two very large meals on Easter. I've had some very good meals lately. I've just avoided stepping on the scale. I feel like if I stepped on the scale today, I'm probably nearing 235 again. So 255 all the way down to 225, back up to 235. I really need to. It was 70 degrees today, 70 degrees yesterday. I need to get back out there. I need to start running a little bit, biking a little bit. I bought a basketball hoop. All this time I've had my goal the past year of dunking a basketball. I didn't even have a basketball hoop at my house. Well, now I do. I was jumping against my siding. I was measuring with a Sharpie how high my reach was, and then I was measuring it with a tape measure. Now I just have a basketball hoop that I can test it with. So I'm going to help avoid burnout in Pokemon by getting a little bit more exercise, breathing a little more fresh air, and getting back on track with my SMART goal of dunking at Rusty's. And you know what? Even if I can't throw down a dunk over Rusty or over old school Pokemon or whoever I found out on the court, I'll still be happy with the journey. I'll still be happy with the results overall. Sadly, I did air alert in the fall. I think I added an inch to my vertical, and I injured myself. I had to quit in like week 9 or 10 or 11. I forget if that was a 12-week process. I had to quit like a week or two before it was over because I almost like tore my Achilles. It was very sore. I could barely walk for a day or two, and I got lazy. And it's been 4 months. It's been 4 months since that happened. I've been at least fully healed for at least 3 months, and I just have to get back onto it. So this video ended up being talking about avoiding burnout and goal setting and trying to stay healthy. And I am doing good. I'm doing good homemaking my own sparkling water now and drinking primarily sparkling water with lemon, not drinking as much soda. But yeah, that is everything I have there. Let me know down below what you do. What is your, and maybe all you have is Pokemon. Maybe it's Pokemon Go. Instead of going on TCG Player on eBay, maybe you just go and you hatch a 5K egg. Maybe you go and you hatch a 10K egg on a walk around your local park or wherever. Let me know in the comments, what do you do to avoid burnout? What do you do to as hobbies other than Pokemon? I think it's good. It's good to love Pokemon, but if you're engaging in it like I was with TCG Pocket in a way that just felt like a chore, it's better to replace that. Better to replace that with shooting a basketball, going for a bike ride, going for a swim. I used to play racquetball. I used to play squash. I used to golf a little bit. Used to play pickup games of kickball, baseball. Need to get back into those things. So yeah, that's my video for today. Let me know in the comments what you do to avoid burnout, what you do to have a good time outside Pokemon. Hope everyone had a very great Easter holiday weekend. I appreciate you all watching. I will be live tonight on YouTube. And last thing I needed to add, I almost forgot. Before the boom, I was doing every other week, a semi-weekly podcast, solo podcast. So we have Pokeflips every other Friday. I was doing every week in between Pokeflips episodes. I was doing lives. I'm going to be live this week, which is not a Pokeflips week. I probably won't be live next week. I'm probably going to go back to being live only weeks in between Pokeflips. So that's me prepping for the nice weather. I've got some yard work I want to take care of. I'm going to be out on the lawnmower here and there every few days again. Going to be traveling more, going to water parks, going to zoos, going to hitting our 50 state lifetime goal for hitting all 50 states in the US. So yeah, those are things that I'm doing, and I'm going to still be doing videos every Monday at 1 p.m. I have a lot of topics that I want to cover, but this is the one that came up for today. I appreciate you all watching. I will catch you all later.